vision, that valley of decision, restraining the hidden with a rod of iron. Men know not the destiny of a next man. Why hold him? Set him free for too long.
With Grenada poised to record its 7th consecutive year of robust growth in 2019, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, will present this country's 2020 budget on Wednesday, November 20th, outlining his government's plans to further drive the economy and spur investor confidence. Under the theme Towards Vision 2035, empowering our communities, growing our economy, protecting our environment, strengthening our institutions, Dr. Mitchell will lay out plans to forge ahead with a shared goal for the future, envisioned in the country's 2020 to 2035 National Sustainable Development Plan. The 2020 budget will be broadcast live on GIS Channel 22 and the GIS Facebook page. Beginning at 9 a.m., we will look at some of the government's major projects over the past year. From 9:30 a.m., there will be live commentary, and from 10 a.m., presentation of the 2020 fiscal package. Tune in to the Government Information Service and other stations for the live broadcast of the 2020 budget, Wednesday, November 20th, 2019.
Yeah!
All right, and we are back. Remember, guys, the lines are open. You can contribute to the conversation this morning. We're talking about the developments throughout this year or even before this year that the government would have accomplished. And this is all leading up to our 2020 budget, which will be held tomorrow, Wednesday, at our Parliament Building, Mount Welldale. Of course, you are all invited to be a part of that, to experience what the budget is all about. And of course, if you can't make it physically to the Parliament Building, it will be streamed live by most of our media houses, and of course GIS. We here at HARDTALK as well will be streaming live. So to those of you in the diaspora who want to listen in, you are free to do that. Remember, our numbers are 440-7377 to call locally and 347-329-3101. Call and contribute to the conversation. So we have a first caller back from the break online. Good morning, caller. Hello,
sorry,
caller.
ma'am.
Good morning.
I'm sorry to call back. I'm so excited. This program this morning. We listened to it. We are sitting on the bus terminal. The media belong to all of us, our parents, work and build this country, and they live, and we take over from them. You know, I want to say something this morning before I call back. You know why I call back? I remember as a member, as a former NDC supporter, bad for NDC, struggle with them, fight with them. And I remember under the NDC government, right where I'm sitting here, I could not obtain my rent. And I have proof to that friends and family that used to pay me rent because of the shame. I was ashamed because they had thrown me out. You understand? They write checks for me. They send from America. They send from Canada and England and pay me rent. And after NNP come back in power, up to this day, I never owed them a cent. I'm making me money and pay me rent.
Yeah.
I could remember the first month when they came back, NNP came back in power, and I pay me rent. I sit down and I say to myself, something happening? How that happening? I start to make money to pay me rent. I remember under the NDC, I used to light 4 lamps in the house in Busheju because I didn't want my neighbors to know I don't have Koran. No, I don't pay me Koran bill. I don't pay me light bill. When I come and sell me blog on the feed and me Mandarin, whatever I have. You understand? So I want villagers to know, despite what they say about the NNP, things is happening and we must work for our country. Do not push bad things. Despite you not supporting the NNP, things is happening. I have to say that. I'm excited today for that program.
Yeah.
I am not a hypocrite. I say it as how it is.
Yeah.
Because I've been on the ground. I'm struggling. I've been struggling over the years. Not one day off. They had give me Camille under the NDC government when I make night. If they play some clips over the years, I then front all meetings. I never get a day work. None of my children never get a day work under the NDC government. But I thank God. And what I would like to see happen, that I would like to see more young people like my children, and my children get something good to do. Because we work hard in Grenada. All the best. I have to call back. I don't want nobody there, but I have to say what I have to say on the contract. And God is good. Despite us struggling, His life is much better. This is the best days of Miss Camille's life right now. At the age of 62. All the years are struggling. Cleaning and working for $5 and $10. People don't know. So I have to say that's how it is. God bless Grenada. Have a good evening.
You too, Miss Cammy. Thank you so much for calling back. And this is just a testimony. And there are so many other stories like this of people who have seen the growth and development of this country and are benefactors of that. I mean, we all know Miss Cammy. We all know her. And she's right. She was one of those at the forefront for the other political party. And this is a true testimony, a testimony from the heart of the experience that she would have had and why she would have made that switch, because she sees benefits, she sees results, and that's what this party provides, results, you know. And there are so many opportunities, Miss Cammy, for the young people. It is not that there aren't opportunities, it's just that we need to encourage them to take advantage of the opportunities that are available, help them see the benefit in taking advantage of these opportunities, whether it's education, whether it's to go to a university and study, whether it's technical skill training, whether it's joining one of the programs like the Imani or the Empower, you know, whether it's helping them find a job or start a small business. All of these things are things that we could do to help the youth to progress, to see the benefit in contributing to the economy of Grenada, to contributing to their livelihood and to take advantage of the opportunities that are being offered by the administration. You know, so it's important, Ms. Cammy. You made a very good point that you do want to see more for the young people, but there are things available. It is just us within the communities and us within society to help guide our young people. It's not government. That's not government's job. That's not government's role. Government has provided the enabling environment for these things to be possible. It is us now. It's our job, it's our responsibility as a society, as a people, to really show our young people how they must take advantage of the opportunities that are available, help to put them on the right path. You know, that's our responsibility. That's not the government's job, you know, but there are opportunities available. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Ms. Cammy, and I thank you for your honesty and your contribution. You know, the fact that your business, you know, that your business is doing well. Your business is doing well. That is a true testimony of the fact that there is development within the country, within the country's economy, that more people have spending power, right? That is a true testament of that. So while there are lots sitting around saying or trying to put into the minds of people that there's nothing happening within the country, guess what? There are others who actually see that the economy has grown and continues to grow. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Yes, my sweetheart, I will come back, eh?
Good morning, Miss Jacob.
I want to tell you all something, eh? About NDC. With me and late. Now, when it's 2008, they come in. 2009, they come to take out all those senior citizens water. And let me tell you something. When they come by me, they say, Miss Jacob, I say, yes, my dear, good morning. The government sent me to take out your water. I say, the who? I say, hold on. I go and call Brother Let. I don't know if Brother Let take his phone and travel it with the in a van. When I put on the phone, Brother Let was right by me emptying right here. He said, let me tell you something. You see this lady that they in front me there, don't take out she water. Because she don't have children, she don't have husband, and she don't walk in. And it's government before that give her water, and it's government that really know. But they move off in the station, and from that day, I don't telling you what them say, they never give Brother Let NDC nothing in St. David until he die. If I tell you that, I tell you all. And then I had I had 3 friends. Out of the 3, one that alive. The lady say, oh God, Miss Jacob, let's go on NDC. I said, go on who? NDC who? NDC side no follow. I said, follow you? I go follow you for $400. Madam, you will never see $400. You wouldn't get it. And who tell you? 2 of them dead and they don't get the $400. When NDC come in, how much they put $50? Only $50 they put, So those rest of people they running for money. I don't running for nothing. By the grace of God, I had the Lord side and me and I dealing with my heavenly Father. So nothing can hamper me. No. And the who? No, they don't coming back. Sorry to say that. So that is my 2 little pens are coming in. And tomorrow I won't be there. And I won't have things. So, you see, Thursday, if God spare our life. You hear, Papa?
Yeah. But listen, Ms. Jacob, I know you won't be. Are you coming down to the Parliament building or are you viewing it?
If I ain't come Parliament would go on, that kid could never, ever read that budget if Ms. Jacob not there.
All right, Ms. Jacob. Well, I look forward to seeing you.
I would be there.
All right. Wonderful.
Okay, Papa?
All right.
Love you, baby. Bye-bye.
You too, Ms. Jacob. Bye-bye.
Right.
All right. And we might say that Ms. Jacob calls all the time and talks about the same thing, but guess what? That is what resonates in her mind from that period. And there are a lot of other people out there who would have had similar terrible experiences as a result of, I don't even know what to call it. Right? Guys, for those of you who want to join us on the live, it is up and running now, so you can feel free to join us. And yes, Kester, I'm mastering the big board now. Gotta learn new trades. What are you gonna do? Right? So it's important, guys, for us to keep in our minds, the back of our minds, what do you want or what do you expect from the government or the party that you plan to support, right? This is not us saying, vote for the NNP, we're going to do so much for you, right? This is us telling you that whenever you're making a decision on who you plan to put in power to run your country or who you plan to put in the administrative position, that you must think carefully and you must backtrack on what developments you have seen throughout their time in government and match that to whatever developments you would have seen throughout anybody's time in government. And we can do an analysis, We can do an analysis of the 4 years, because they say 4.5 years they had. So the 4.5 years that the New National Party was in government, right, from 2013 to 2018. We can do an analysis of the amount of things or the amount of progress that would have taken place within that time and compare it to the 4.5 years from 2008 to 2013 and really see if that is justification enough for not for not coming through with your plans and your promises during that time for the Grenadian people. We can do that. You know, we could be petty like that, but we're not. We prefer to talk about the amount of things that we have done as a government to help the people of Grenada. Guys, so the lines are open. It's 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Feel free to give us a call and contribute to the conversation. What developments have you seen throughout the past year happening in Grenada, or even throughout the past 10 years of governance? You know, what have you seen happening within Grenada, right? And if we were to talk about some more things to look forward to for 2019 to 2021, we have the Grenada water supply expansion and sewage disposal improvement project. And we'll get straight back to that as soon as we take this call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, Miss Duncan.
How are you?
Green Man is here. Green Man, how are you today?
I'm good, Green Man. How are you?
All right, Green Man is there listening carefully.
All right.
What I want to say for my country, from his time, my prime minister come in the country here and rule. He do his best and he do very much. And I thank him for all what he done, because he is a prime minister, have love for everybody. Yellow, green, blue, black, name it.
Yeah.
And I stay in 4 years and a half, when things was good, people started to cry. People started to say, what next? Because they don't know how to turn, where to go, because they don't have no food to eat.
Yeah.
But today everybody's saying, NMP in power, they have food to eat.
Yeah.
What more do you want again? You have a job, you get in everything, what you want. You don't have to beg nobody, because I remember in 4 years and a half, people used to beg.
Yeah.
But these days, I hardly see people begging. I ask myself, wait now, you got beggar people in Grenada again, everybody get rich. So, I want to say to the other side, all what I'm saying will not work, because NMP know better. I mean, once upon a time, NMP failed us, because the bribe and all the kind of nonsense they take from people, but I will not take that. Because I know better. I travel all over Grenada and I see what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't have to take it from people. I just move. Sometimes you see me in Guelph, sometimes you see me in Victoria, sometimes you see me in Sotels. I'm moving all about. So I know what's taking place.
Yeah.
When NDC was in power, that was the worst time I ever spent. I don't have money in my pocket to spend. Today, I enjoy the orange. I repaying the ribs because my salary coming in my hand.
Yep.
So what more again? People want everybody have a bread to eat. People look at the song on a Friday, everybody's spending. Everybody's spending. And NMP is not a greedy person. If NDC come around, they will get a drink. If they don't have money, they will get a drink. That is the kind of love NMP have. NMP don't like to see people sit down there and they try. You offer them a drink. So I want to say, hats up to my prime minister and the team. That's a wonderful team. That team don't go nowhere. It's staying righty. Look at so much thing happening. Look at the medical station in Guelph. 4 years and a half. They have it to do and they don't do. Only complaining. But this government do complaining. They're working.
Yeah.
Things mightn't be well, but they're trying their best, they're doing their best, and they're making things work, because them is an action team.
Yeah.
So I want to say, you take care, and 2 days again for my birthday.
Oh, wow.
The 22nd, this Friday is my birthday. I'm having a wonderful time, Friday. So you take care, and let God bless everyone.
You too. Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
caller. All right. Well, Green Man, we're not going to be here on Friday. I mean, physically, because we'll be streaming budget presentations. So let me just say in advance, happy birthday. I hope you definitely do have a wonderful day. Of course, as one of our main callers, if I must say, on the program. It's always a pleasure hearing from all of our people, you know? And he's right. So many things are happening in Grenada, so many things that we must look forward to as Grenadians, so many things that have happened, right? And as we were speaking about before, we have things to look forward to, such as the Grenada Water Supply Expansion and Sewage Disposal Improvement Project, right? We have, of course, the objective. The objective of this is to increase the quality supply capacity and the supply of potable water to the southwest part of the island, to upgrade the sewage disposal system in St. George and build climate resilience in the water supply and sewage disposal infrastructure, right? So there are so many things that we want to look forward to. We have the first component of that being the expansion of the Concord water supply system, right? That is the Concord water treatment plant, Concord system, storage tank, so many things. I could go on and on and on and on about the things that we are to expect, the things that have been done, right? I could talk to you about how the economy has been growing and all of these things. But what I really want to do is encourage all of you to tap into our budget presentation tomorrow. Hey, get a first hand listen, so that at the end of the day, when other political parties go on the scene and talk about, oh, well, they say they're going to do this, I don't know how they're going to do it, because then we can simply say, well, these are the plans that the government has put in place, so let's give them a chance to see what they have proposed and if it can come to tuition. And not only that, if you are saying no, it can't be done, then you must show us a way in which it can be done. Because what the government does is it put policies and stuff in place so that the country can develop. The things that the government puts in place is necessary for the development of the country, you know? So we want to encourage it. We want to be a part of it. So if you're shooting it down, then you must tell us what you plan or what you foresee being put in place in order to deal with something like that. You know? So, I mean, it's give and take. You gotta tell us what you plan to do if you plan to say no, right? You gotta tell us what you plan to do. So there's so much that we need to ensure that we pay attention to when we are listening to the budget. We want to hear about our recurrent expenditure. We want to hear about the plans and the progress that has happened and what is about to happen. We want to hear what the unemployment rate is right now. All of these things are things that we look forward to when we're listening to the budget. So those of you joining us on the live, good morning to you. I know we started on the live a little bit late, but, you know, better late than never. You can also post your comments here, and we'll be more than happy to read it for you. Or you can WhatsApp us. It's not too late at 440-7377, and we would be more than happy to assist you. Somebody is saying here that they're just hearing music on CRFM. So if you are getting that, if you're hearing that, also please let us know, so we can look into that. But we haven't had any queries about that. But of course, you can still listen to us on 97.5, which is City Sound FM. They are also up and running. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Well, let me tell you, I keep hearing a lot of people saying that during NDC days, they experienced so many bad things, and like it was the end of the world. Some of them say they couldn't pay their bills and their water had to be cut off and all of that. But let me tell you something. During the NDC days, the world was experiencing a crisis, including Grenada. Today, we are not facing that crisis. and things are extra bad or worse. There are people who can't afford to pay their bills. There are people, water bill cutting off. There are people who can't afford housing and afford to pay their rents and so on. That is the reality here today in Grenada. Yes. While the world's economy has improved and your government and you continue to boast about economic growth. But you keep pushing the NNP agenda. Might I ask you, what is the NNP core values? What is the core values of your party?
All right. So, caller, I know who you are. And you are not going to put me in a position where you try to make me contradict what I'm saying. Let's just get this straight. This program is not meant to come down on the NDC. I don't understand what the point of your call was this morning. But let's be realistic. People are calling and sharing their point of views as it relates to the situation that they would have experienced while the NDC was in government. So are you now, caller, trying to tell these people that they are not speaking the truth? Because I didn't say it. The callers called and they expressed the economic crisis that they would have experienced while your party, Mr. Tevin Andrews, was in government. So are you now saying that these people are lying? And the government, this party, does not in any way say that there is nobody in Grenada that's struggling. People struggle every day. But this party's core value is to ensure that we lift the economic standard and livelihood of all of the people within the state of Grenada, which is why we have programs such as the Imani program, which helps our young people from impoverished homes who are looking for jobs and looking for betterment, which is why our government is now willing to pump $6 million more into the housing programs that allow people within the rural areas to go out there and get better housing, which is why our government has invested so much in public housing, right? While your government, Mr. Tevin Andrews, would have said that Grenadian don't need all these houses, give you the value for the 1,000 houses that the Chinese government was going to build. You ask for that in cash. So it would be very bad of you, Mr. Andrews, to now call this program and talk about people are still struggling. Of course, there are people within this country that are struggling. But our job and our responsibility as a government is to ensure that the livelihood of all of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique, that all of their lives are improved. So don't try to put me on the spot. You're not going to win in that one at all. At all. The facts are there. It's proven. The facts are there, Mr. Andrews. So what you just did is you just put your party on the spot by saying that the people of Grenada are not being truthful in expressing their sufferings during 2008 to 2013, when you are the one saying that you were in the midst of an economic crisis. Guess what? The new National Party came and met that same economic crisis, and we met Grenada in a deplorable economic state. But you know what is the difference between our party and your party? Our party sees a problem and sees resolutions. Your party sees problems and formulates excuses. That's the difference. So what our party did is our political leader and prime minister, on entry into government in 2008, to clean up the deplorable mess that you guys left the country in, went to our financial institutions. And you know what he did? He presented a plan. He said, this is what the country is experiencing. And this is what the government needs in order to get ourselves back on foot. So, I don't understand what your intention was this morning, but you have failed. Let me just say that. So if you want to know what our party's agenda is, that is our party's agenda, to improve the livelihood of the people of Grenada. So I'm encouraging everybody everyone within the sound of my voice to tune in tomorrow to our budget, right? You're going to hear of all of the things that our government, our administrators have put in place to ensure economic development. And for those of you who are joining us late, we were actually going through what is the benefit of having a budget. First of all, it's important because we live in a democratic state, right? We live in a democratic state. So it is important for the government to report back to its people and let us know this is where our revenue is going. This is our growth. This is where we have a shortfall. That is their duty, right? And they want to ensure also that they inform us on things like proper resource pool allocations, all right? Identifying areas of weakness, right? So that we can allocate our resources in a useful and sustainable manner. You know, ensuring economic growth, to ensure that they regulate the imposition of taxes. So whether we have to decrease on some of the taxes because it's not absolutely necessary anymore, because the economy is in a nice, sustainable state, right? Of course, they also do it because they want to ensure growth of business and trading. So there are a lot of reasons as to why you should listen to the budget, right? During the budget, the government can ensure business owners revise their policies accordingly to contribute to the country's economic prosperity. So there are a lot of things that the government needs to do to ensure economic stability. And we will hear about all of these things once we listen to our budget. All right? Guys, I see the lines are overflowing with calls. But, of course, you know that we are pressed for time, so we cannot take any more calls. I apologize. So, Mr. Andrews, if you were planning to call back to rebut, I apologize. We have no time to listen to you right now. All right? But, as we were saying, the people speak. It is the people that experience these problems. It is the people that experience 2008 to 2013. We, the people, have voices. All right, and we have provided an avenue for the people to speak, and they are speaking, Mr. Andrews. They are speaking, and you can't tell them that they are wrong. That is what they have experienced. All right, so we want to be mindful of all of these things. So, guys, we are pressed for time. We are actually out of time this morning. So I want to appeal to you. Come down to the Parliament building tomorrow, starting at 10 o'clock. We have our budget 2020 budget presentation. It's expected to be a good one. I actually love listening to the budget because I like to hear where we are, where we came from, and where we are going. I like to hear that. So I'll be tuning in. I'll be listening right from my seat in the Parliament. And of course, we will be streaming live here on Hard Talk. We'll also be streaming, GIS will be streaming, along with a lot of the other media houses will be streaming the budget live, because of course this is a matter of national importance. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. I want to be speaking with you and not about you. So in whatever you do, guys, be safe, be secure. Have a wonderful day.
Government negotiating team signs agreement for salary increase. Details of this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Monday, November 18th, I am Sherry Ann Noel. Following on the heels of the conclusion of negotiations with staff associations, which represent prison and police officers, the government negotiating team, the GNT, had signed an agreement for salary increases with the Prison Welfare Association. Agreements with the Grenada Manual Maritime and Intellectual Workers Union, Police Gazetted Officers Association, Police Welfare Association, and Prison Officers Welfare Associations were brokered during talks late Thursday and early Friday morning. All public officers represented by the unions and staff associations which have concluded negotiations will benefit from annual increases of 4% for each of the years covered in the new collective labor agreement. The 12% increase over 3 years is the largest settlement for public sector employees in the last 20 years. The overall cost for the settlement is $43.5 million, which means government will have to undertake extensive reallocation to fund the agreed wage increases. During Monday's signing, Cabinet Secretary Mrs. Beryl Isaac commended the Prison Welfare Association for placing its members' needs as priority.
Our negotiations with the Prison Welfare Association are always very cordial, but we know that they fight very, very hard on behalf of their members because they have their members' interests at heart. And we appreciate that from where we stand. But we are happy to say that here we are this afternoon to sign the agreement which covers salary for the next few years.
Mr. Elijah Young of the Prison Welfare Association says he is happy that they have reached an agreement that both parties are happy with.
Our members had a lot of cry. The government negotiation team extend a lot of help to us other than outside of the salary negotiation, and we are very, very thankful for that. And we're looking forward to work together with the government negotiating team in the future and to extend the permanent secretary of our ministry. With all that said and done, I want to say thanks again on behalf of the prison welfare and the members and staff of Her Majesty's Prison.
Moving along, Grenada has started the conversation about accessible, affordable, timely, quality, universal health care with stakeholders and the JIPA network. The first in a series of consultations began on Monday, where the public was introduced to the U.S. network and plans for the implementation of the National Health Insurance in Grenada. This is in keeping with the JIPA's 9-month commitment and contract to engage in broad-based frequent consultations. Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell said in order for Grenada to realize the dream of quality, affordable, improved health care, there must be proper management.
The healthcare system, the problems related to it is not a one-dimensional problem. It is not just about put more money. Sometimes I hear this. Hire more persons, hire more this. Yes, we may need all of the above. But the fact is, the management of the healthcare system is our fundamental problem. And it requires all on board, as I mentioned earlier on, to be able to get it right.
Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele says the intervention of JIPA is timely since Grenadians have not been satisfied with some aspect of the country's healthcare system. He says now is the time for Grenada to step up into universal health care and be on par with the world.
This is when we also recognize that while our healthcare system has improved, our healthcare system continues to have challenges and has, most importantly, created misery for many of our population due to the financial challenges, due to the inability to access healthcare at the right level, or most importantly, due to the fact that we do not have healthcare for all, universal healthcare coverage. It is recognized that the closest model to date for universal healthcare coverage involves a national health insurance of some form or fashion. It is this that I hope we begin the serious discussion of not its possibility, of not whether it is needed or not, but the serious discussion of implementation.
Health policy specialist, Grenadian-born Dr. Kester Ned, who is also the chairman and CEO of the JIPA, stressed the importance of stakeholder buy-in and involvement. He says national health insurance is a subject of national interest, and Grenada's health sector can be the envy of the region if there is consolidative and collective bargaining among stakeholders.
Manage healthcare, and we're going to talk more about this. I've already told you about value-based healthcare. We're also going to talk more about that. So our goal is to present to you cost-effective, predictive healthcare modeling and sustainable system of care. The way to do this, and we call that the powerful winning strategy for NHI, is to consolidate and collectively bargain. The three elements: the healthcare providers, the entities who pay for care, and the consumers of care. We believe that in Grenada, this will be a first for the Caribbean. If we're able to implement a model where we could consolidate the resources we have, we will be the most powerful healthcare delivery system in the region.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
With Grenada poised to record its 7th consecutive year of robust growth in 2019, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, will present this country's 2020 budget on Wednesday, November 20th, outlining his government's plans to further drive the economy and spur investor confidence. Under the theme Towards Vision 2035, Empowering Our Communities, Growing Our Economy, National Sustainable Development Plan. The 2020 budget will be broadcast live on GIS Channel 22 and the GIS Facebook page. Beginning at 9 a.m., we will look at some of the government's major projects over the past year. From 9:30 a.m., there will be live commentary, and from 10 a.m., presentation of the 2020 fiscal package. Tune in to the Government Information Service and other stations for the live broadcast of the 2020 budget, Wednesday, November 20th, 2019.
Welcome back. The Grenville Secondary School was the first on the list with the resumption of school visits undertaken by the Ministry of Education. The team was led by Education Minister Honorable Emmeline Pear and included Chief Education Officer Angela Finley and Dr. Cheryl Banabi Bishop, Deputy Chief Education Officer with responsibility for curriculum. Details from Annette Moore.
According to the Education Act of Grenada under Inspection and Review of the Education System, Division 1, namely Inspection of Educational Institutions, 175.1, the Minister, the Chief Education Officer, an Education Officer, a public officer authorized in writing by the Chief Education Officer, and any other person authorized in writing by the Minister may, at the times and in the manner prescribed by the regulations, inspect any education institution. The ministry officials did a school walkthrough at the Grenville Secondary School, meeting with students, staff, principal, and the school's management team during the visit. School counselor Carlton George saw the visit as beneficial.
I also think that being able to sit and converse with members of the management team was also a positive. And to me, it sent the message that there's a level of care and a level of concern as it relates to the success of the school.
District Education Officer Kathy Ann James highlighted the opportunities for interaction.
Districts have been doing their school visits. Curriculum officers have been doing school visits. Sometimes we have what you would call review of schools. So visiting school is not what you would say a first for the Ministry of Education. However, this visit in particular, or the visits what we have put in forward by the Minister of Education as the lead of the ministry, is in a way of seeing the school in its natural environment. He had one-on-one conversation with the teachers. We had the students, sharing how they felt about their school, giving us some sort of feel of what it is like to be at GSS.
James noted that the Grenville Secondary School is in a transitory phase, with its principal having recently retired, leaving the vice principal, Denise Roberts, as the acting principal. The school is celebrating its 36th anniversary this year, and Roberts shared some of its recent achievements.
We were able to have 10 subject areas recording 100% pass rate at the CSEC exams. And even more recent, we discovered that one of our students, in the person of Nazim Shatu, has made it in the top 10 of the region for building and furniture technology. That has been one of our major highlights, and we are so proud of him, his family, and the school as a whole.
Head of the technical department, Wendell Maxwell, noted the experience level of the staff as contributing to the school's success.
For the last, as far as I can remember, for the last 10 years, we have been performing very well at the technical department. In fact, we have a few long-standing teachers, Mr. Best, Mr. Chitterman, they all have more than 10 years of teaching experience. So collectively, we might have over 60 years because I'm teaching for the last 40.
Roberts noted the school's commendable performances in sports, in particular cricket, throughout the years, and remarked that many alumni have assumed roles in critical sectors in society. The Grenville Secondary School has become known as one of the best technical schools on the island, despite challenges.
When we have, like you would say, the technical heads of the ministry coming in, the senior officials of the ministry visiting schools, you get a little more out of it. Because when you identify the challenges that are faced, you have the persons right at the top understanding and feeling what's supposed to be happening, and they can infuse more into what you would say the plans that would be there to ensure that schools are properly taken care of.
The purpose of school visits like the one to the Grenville Secondary School are to observe the school environment and teachers during instructional periods, to observe interactions with staff and students, to engage principals, vice principals, senior management teams and staff, observe the monitor or prefect systems at work, and to provide feedback on the school development plan and reports. The reports provided following the school visits are intended to encourage effective school operations. The principal and management of the school shared their thoughts on the recent school visit.
It gave me the opportunity to recognize, accountability, in terms of, we have persons ahead of us that we need to be accountable to in terms of accountability. And as we say, we have other stakeholders who are interested and who is looking forward to see us strive and do well.
I think it was a good initiative on the part of the Minister for Education, coming in with a team to be able to have first-hand experience of how things are happening at the Grenville Secondary School. I felt pleased that she was able to relate with and interact with the students. I saw them chatting and so on. And to me, that was a very good thing. I believe also that the students felt pleased to be able to interact with some of the highest officials in the education system. And for me, this was a major highlight.
I love the visit, the timing of it. I'm looking forward to see some of our weakness being sorted out together with the Ministry for Education. I would like to see the furniture situation addressed, the tools and equipment for the department we need upgrading seriously. I hope that will also be addressed. And most of all, the discipline of the student. Although it is a school, but we need a school issue, but we need support from the ministry in that regard.
We would like to see continued collaboration, communication and discussion with us here at the Grenville Secondary School.
Going forward, I am looking forward to working closely with the Ministry of Education to ensure that Grenville Secondary continues on the path of upward mobility and development as an institution and to take us to higher heights.
We have to find ways to support GSS and also provide opportunities and systems to ensure that we have a better relationship, to ensure that parents and communities are on board to provide that support for GSS so that they can reach their fullest potential.
School visits will continue throughout each school term. For the National Report, I'm Annette Moore.
And finally, The rodent-infested section of the St. George's Market, famously called Jamrock, was demolished on Sunday. The demolition became necessary after numerous complaints about some of the activities there and government's move to enhance the general environs of the St. George's Market. The dialogue with the vendors who occupied the booths began in June this year, when they were informed about the demolition. Supervisor at the St. George's Market, Diana Gibbs Douglas, told the GIS that certain structures had to be put in place first before the demolition could take place. She says the vendors who were affected as a direct result of the demolition were assigned booths in the market in accordance with the vending license agreement, which was signed on November 12, 2019, along with the keys for the identified booths.
In fact, they were part of the plan. They knew what was happening and they're happy about it because the booth that they've been replaced to, it's better. It's clean, it's more friendly to the customer, you know. And they all were part of the discussion and planning when those things were, when discussion was going on, and they agree with what is happening today. They all move out from this booth here and go into the new ones, and I think they are happy. They knew a while now that they have to move. However, at the timing, everything just like to disconnect the electricity. So, you know, you have to wait on last minute because of the type of business it does. You have to move from one to the other in terms of disconnecting and connecting. So we couldn't disconnect them and then the connection wasn't ready in the other boats. With the water, it's the same. And so I believe this last week here, it was looking at, it looks as if it was a rush. But enough plans has been put into it and they knew they had to move. Things take time, they had to do the necessary documents and everything and then give the key. So I think the rush in the last week was a bit hectic, but they knew and they had to put things together to move.
One vendor who has been operating there for 12 years and did not want to appear on camera says the demolition is a move she welcomes for many reasons.
After 12 years, how important do you see this move?
Very good. Very, very good. It's a very good move. I'm satisfied with it.
Are you pleased with the building that you're going to?
Oh yes, I'm very pleased. Much more neat, much more tidy, and much more healthy. In terms of no more roach, no more rats, and the rodents and stuff that we used to go through.
So the rodents is a serious problem for you?
Very serious problem. You cannot function properly in the night. The roaches, them come out. The rats, them come out. Well, the rats during the day run right through, back and forth. Sometimes they tend to run on your foot if you're not paying attention.
So your boot was literally a health hazard?
To a point. Because I normally put on rat poison and roaches poison and stuff like that. So I'm satisfied with the move that it's making right now.
Kenny James, the Senior Environmental Officer with the responsibility for vector control in the Ministry of Health, was on site with his team to fumigate the infested area.
We are trying to treat for any sort of vectors, rats, roaches and so on, because we have challenges with the market square here. Many times we are called to do treatment here in terms of rodent control and roach infestation. And since that they are demolishing the part of the market there, it is expected that you'll see large amount of roaches running about and the possibility of rats running around. So we are here now to put measures in place so that it doesn't spread to neighboring places or business places around, because you know once you expose their harborage, they will tend to move to other areas. So what we are doing now, we are spraying to prevent them from moving on to other places. If you look at the way these booths were constructed, they are uneven. They have cracks and crevices all over, which provide harborage for the rodents and roaches and so on. So removal of these booths and building something that is of a better standard would add benefits to it, because currently what is there provide the harborage for a lot of insects and rodents and so on. So we should see some improvement in terms of rodent control and roach control or vector control in the market square.
The demolition of Jamrock forms part of the first phase of the project. A recent release from the Ministry of Infrastructure states, and I quote, "The ministry will continue to work with stakeholders to ensure that the management of the market is in keeping with the relevant laws and with the approved conservation design for the tongue of St. George," unquote. And with that, we come to the end of the National Report for Monday, November 18th, 2019. On behalf of the entire news production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.
With Grenada poised to record its 7th consecutive year of robust growth in 2019, Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, will present this country's 2020 budget on Wednesday, November 20th, outlining his government's plans to further drive the economy and spur investor confidence. Under the theme Towards Vision 2035, empowering our communities, growing our economy, protecting our environment, strengthening our institutions, Dr. Mitchell will lay out plans to forge ahead with a shared goal for the future, envisioned in the country's 2020 to 2035 National Sustainable Development Plan. The 2020 budget will be broadcast live on GIS Channel 22 and the GIS Facebook page. Beginning at 9 a.m., we will look at some of the government's major projects over the past year. From 9:30 a.m., there will be live commentary, and from 10 a.m., presentation of the 2020 fiscal package. Tune in to the Government Information Service and other stations for the live broadcast of the 2020 budget, Wednesday, November 20th, 2019.